lot of times we deal with certain things in our body and we don't know that. It's just because after we have kids, certain things we eat, we put on that weight, it just affects us. So I've been talking back and forth with these women. It's been really dope. So shout out to all of the women. And if you guys want to join the challenge, let's do it. Hit me up in my DM. I don't really answer my DMs, but during this challenge, I'm kind of looking. But then I don't be knowing like who. Maybe go up under the picture, that video that I post. Yeah, there's a video that I posted. Go up under that one. That would be better. And let's all do this thing together.
I'm on my grind. You ain't gonna leave me behind now. You and Rodriguez doing all this styling, taking all these pics. Like I'm gonna just show up in some duck head and Oshkosh bagage.
You been doing good, baby.
No, I'll be there.
You look good. Don't get skinny. Like you said, I don't want you skinny.
All right, so tonight.
Two sticks rubbing together. We would have started a fire, honey. Let's keep Let's not be dirty.
All right. So we here. Interesting, different angled topic. I'm gonna do something I haven't done in quite some time. If you'll bear with me just 2 seconds, then I want my wife to really explain where this thing was birthed from. But I just want to open up the mindset to looking at the different angles of how we coming tonight. So, boom. So I ask, what is the deal with our fascination of excess greed and our appetite for more and more and more? While we are indeed being trained by manipulating marketing techniques to constantly desire the latest and new versions of a thing, what we remain blind to is how it conditions us to lose our appreciation for the things we already possess today. This is how we slip away from traditions, heritage, the vintage, antique, and the history of values. From the latest iPhone or Android, I don't want no smoke, to seasonal fashion trends, down to the latest and reckless crate challenge. No matter the impact things place on our wallets or our personal well-being, we continue to thirst for something new, and we want a lot more of it. But let's consider for just a second. Is this mindset and insatiable appetite that we are surrendering to silently somehow spilling over into the more precious and meaningful areas of our lives? Are we becoming so hungry for validation from new people that we no longer appreciate the unconditional support that family is supposed to offer and was designed to provide? Have we accepted strangers into the family circle and begun treating family members like strangers? Are we becoming more comfortable living behind our social media filters where we eat the applause and ovations of likes and comments until we become gluttonous? Have we developed an acquired taste for false realities and now reject the flavor of authentic cuisine that's served best by those who know all of our imperfections? Is our passion dying with our spouse or our lover because we stop valuing the beauty found in deep roots of commitment because we are being lured away by every half-dressed tree branch that flaps in the wind? Think about it. Are we hopping from one teacher to another preacher, from one faith over to another religion, not knowing that it's less about their ability to fill us up with truth than it is about the crack that we carry in ourselves that no liquid of prophecy could ever fill up? Are we sitting ungratefully in seats of provision, security, and hope while someone who is more humble, optimistic, and thankful is standing with their faith, hoping one day that the opportunity you no longer appreciate can one day be theirs? So are there any areas of our life where we need to back up from the table and stop being greedy? I don't know. But let's talk about it.
Good stuff. Wow, you took the whole, that's... Okay, so I was sitting in the living room. Well, first of all, let's just say hey to the eyeball in the room. He hasn't said it. Why is your mic way over there?
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah. I couldn't concentrate because, and Sean can back me up on this because you ain't going to believe me. Everybody's talking about your look. Everybody. Sean, am I lying? Everybody.
Sean, I don't know if I can trust you because you got one of Miss Clara.
You know what? But she gonna listen to y'all, but she won't trust her husband though.
Looking at the comments, everybody's they say it's this all black, it's the hair, it's the fit, these comments is going crazy about your look tonight.
I'm coming back.
So I got a little distracted. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was trying to let Crazy say something for a second. I was wanted Crazy to speak.
My new material got thrown off because of the comments threw my material off tonight. Mm-hmm. I got distracted because
Me too.
Yes, because this shape has got us distracted.
Me too.
Man, stop. All right, never mind. So let me tell y'all how this. Hi, Zion. Oh. Well, you
picking up a few items.
Zion, have you been in my closet? Zion.
Picking a few items.
You didn't say what you wanted. You just said these food. And what's that other thing in your hand? The trench.
Be checking on you all night. Where you at? Who you with?
Y'all, listen, let me tell y'all something. And I done had another little girl. I can't keep nothing.
I know she did. I know.
So what, you just finna take the stuff and leave? No, I'm staying. Well, stay out of my closet. Put that to the side and do not go back in my closet, Zion. Yeah, you do that. No. God almighty. No, she was trying to go get what you need. Does anybody else go through that? I can't keep nothing. If I'm eating, she said I make food look good.
You do.
Yeah, thank you.
I wasn't even hungry. I'm like, yo, let me get a plate. I wasn't even hungry, man.
John, I love you. What is that? Who does? Why? For what? No, ma'am. I'm trying to get skinny. Move on. I love you. Stay out of my closet. Out. And them boots better come back looking like they left. Don't scuff them up. Don't go mud on them. Where you going, to a haunted house with some boots on? Where you going? What is that?
A&T Homecoming.
Oh, yeah? Well, you better be good, honey. Go get that oil out my...
With them boots on, you about to be that girl in the scary movie that
Go
gets
in there,
caught.
Go in there and get that oil out the bathroom. Let me lay hands. You'll be there? Is it... So it's a party? Okay. All right. Well, let me see the rest of the outfit. I'll see you in a minute.
'Cause you know I'll pull up.
Sure will.
Proven.
Save a little bit for the imagination, honey. Oh, my God, Father.
I'll pull up. Yeah, don't call
watch
me.
out for my baby. Oh, my God. Okay, Lord, help me, God. Jesus. She just came and with my stuff in her hand without asking. I'm supposed to approve.
It's kind of cute, though.
To you. To a woman who likes her shoes, it ain't cute at all. She be walking my shoes, come back crooked, he'll be looking like that.
Slide to the left.
Okay. So check it out. I was sitting in the living room after I was watching some good old Chandler Moore and KJ. And, Thanksgiving is about to come up, and there's a lot of broken families. Thanksgiving ain't as easy as it used to be when people be like, yo, we're going to meet up here, we're going to meet up there, because such and such might not come because they mad at you. They don't want to go over here. They don't want to go over there. This person don't like the wife. They don't like it's crazy, especially once you lose the matriarch of your family, like a grandparent who was always the one to hold it together. And so I started on that, and then I started thinking on everything else. Family, business. And I was just like, yo, we got a lot of people who are greedy and need to get up from the table because it's at a place now where we're just eating, but we don't appreciate the meal that we're eating. Like I don't know if you guys realize this, but food is like a healer for all kind of things. You know what I mean? When people go on most business deals, what do they do? Where do they go? At a restaurant, having drinks, having food. And so I just feel like we're dealing with a lot of people out here who are being greedy, and they need to get up from the table because nothing's ever going to change. The relationship's not going to get better. They don't want time with you. They're holding grudges from years ago, and everybody's coming to the table being fake and eating the food and glutting. And I was telling Derica, I was like, there's some things that I've been watching, like as far as like people with gifts and talents, and it's almost like we think grace is always gonna watch over us, but grace runs out, and we get greedy. We want more. And that's why I said, get up from the table, you being greedy. Get up from the table, you don't appreciate where you are. You don't want the relationship. You don't want to mend things. You're just gonna come eat the food and leave. But I feel like if somebody else can sit at that table and appreciate what they're eating, will appreciate the meal, will appreciate the gift, will appreciate the opportunity, will appreciate the wisdom, will appreciate the love. So get up from the table. You're being greedy. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Like when you gave the Thanksgiving demonstration, it made me think about this, how you normally have a select group of people in the kitchen that's cooking. Right. You know what I mean? They probably started the night before, if not the day before that. But they probably started the night before, prepping, losing sleep, trying to make sure everything hits everybody's taste buds, making sure you compensate for certain people's allergies, take care of the kids, make sure they have something.
Don't forget dressing up the table.
Sure, you know what I mean? Everything look good. Wake up early the next morning, doing the catering. Then you have, I've been there before when I was younger, but then you even have young kids and adults who sit on the sideline like, yo, when we gonna eat? Yo, when's the food gonna be ready? When's the food gonna be ready, right? Not balancing your desire against the scales of your contribution, right? The metaphor is as simple as a Thanksgiving dinner, but at the end of the day, sometimes we allow our selfish desires to blind us to the fact of the sacrifices other people have made and the sacrifices we have not made. So when you spend that, you start to look at your relationship with your husband or your wife. You start to look at your relationship with your kids. You look at trying to climb the corporate ladder, right? Worrying about how somebody beat you out for a certain position, but you may not have gone the extra mile. You may not have put in enough hours. You may have taken every opportunity to call out or clock out early or not get certain additional certifications. Or you could go even further to, friendships. It's a lot of times, we'll cut people off or we'll shut people off of our life, but not looking at the fact, what have I contributed? I know I didn't get what I want, or you said something that offended me, or you weren't there when I needed you, but have I always taken your call? Have I put in the same level of effort? So we're sitting at these tables, and where my wife got the table demonstration is, when you think of a hospital, when you think of a church seat, when you think of an office seat, things we take for granted, somebody is praying for that. The very things that we overlook and we dismiss and we begin to no longer appreciate, the same thing that we're squandering. Sometimes, we're the same way. I hate throwing food in the trash, whether it went bad in the refrigerator or we can't use it anymore, because there's somebody praying for just that portion. And that's an unintentional example, but there's some things that we do intentionally where we slap God in the face and we what's the word I'm looking for? We basically just waste. I don't want to try to be fancy with it. We just waste a lot of opportunities and relationships and time that somebody else is praying and fasting for. So in a lot of these areas, man, we need to get up off the table, man. We're being greedy, but we're not going to do that. People are not going to get up from the table, which means taking acknowledgement that is how I am.
Yeah, pretty much. But I'm gonna tell you what if they don't get up from the table. Here's the thing, because you just said something that was so dope. Even if you sit down and eat it, you don't put in the time, like how my grandmother and my mother and my Aunt Bonnie used to do. They used to be in the kitchen cooking, and so I used to get in the kitchen just to hear the conversations and hear the wisdom that was being thrown left to right, and building those relationships and spending that time with my grandmother, because you never know how long they're gonna be here. I pulled something from that, so when I sat down and ate at the table, it tasted different, because I got to see her cut up the sweet potatoes. I got to see her making her dressing, and godly, she made some good dressing. So the meal was different for me, but another family member who might have been upset, or a church member who might have been upset, or a friend of hers who might have been upset, that just sat in the den while all of the good stuff was going on in the kitchen, it don't even taste the same. You don't even realize it is more than just the food. You get what I'm saying? So even if you don't get up from the table, you're still blocking so many of your blessings. You're not getting the real just of what it means.
You got the food, but you didn't get the meal.
Oh.
You got the food. That ain't gonna be denied you, but you didn't catch the meal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to see what D want to add to this, Larry, because I feel like we
Like-
great. We trying to figure. Yeah.
So my question is, do you feel like we force people to sit at the table? And when I say force people to sit at the table, sometimes we're inviting people who we don't know. We know they don't want to be there. And a lot of it is because we desire to have certain people there. We feel like certain people carry the family or carry the dinner, even though they don't want to be there. They show that they don't want to be there. They make it hard to get in contact with them, but we force, or somebody in the family or somebody on the line is forcing people to be there. Are we forcing people to be fake?
You know that was beautiful. Like it makes you wonder. So who's at fault?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it the person who's being honest? I don't fool up with you. I don't want to come around. I'd rather be somewhere else. I don't do family. I don't want to do business with you. I don't want to pray with you. I don't want to be married to you.
So, well, let me ask you this. What happens if it's your kids?
But I ain't got no
Do you-
choice.
No, but what I'm saying is, no, Zion, Zion. I'm saying, what happens if it's your kids and is it forcing or is it hope in there that you can still rebuild?
I personally now, let me put this disclaimer out there before I get attacked. I don't have kids. But from my position and my point of view, if I'm not going to show up and act right and participate right, then I shouldn't come. Because when you talked about the meal, you preparing this meal, whether it be Christmas, Thanksgiving, a birthday, a wedding, whatever, this is a joyful time. So, and if you're creating joy, even if it's the child, like when you say child, and I guess it depends on when you're talking about the age separation too. You know, there's an age where you're like, well, you got to do what I say do, whether you like it or not. But then I think there's a line that you draw where you're saying you're an adult now, and if you're not going to show up and be an adult and be happy, then I would rather you not. Get up from the table.
Because even if you're not in the kitchen, sometimes your contribution is just the good energy. You don't have to necessarily potluck it and bring a dish or help me bust down the kitchen when I'm done, but just bring good energy. You know what I mean? Bring that vibration so that the vibration we're trying to create can continue to bounce off the walls and reciprocate and echo and ricochet, and everybody can be impacted by it. So I think this is a good vein, because I feel like so sometimes are we so focused on the idea, the image that we have, like you said, that we force people to participate in our dream?
I think you hit the nail dead on the head, Kendall. We all have an idea of how we like it. I have an idea of how I would like my business to run. And I think even before I kind of got rid of some people, the idea was for me to have this big team and all us work together, and you come in there and you smell hair and see blow dryers and it just looks so good and all black. But the reality of it was everybody wasn't going in the same direction, unfortunately. And sometimes what I had to do in this new season was downsize so that because it was easier to get a smaller group of people who's headed in the right direction, more so than trying to have a lot of people and everybody's headed in different directions.
This is why I love the talks, that they're so raw. We don't have a bunch of cue cards or a teleprompter, because you know what this is making me think about now? We started out saying, get up from the table, you're being greedy. Is it us that should get up from the table? Are we being greedy? Let's flip the whole, forget all of this, right?
Oh, watch out.
Do we have an appetite? Ooh, this is going to cut us. If I'm even close. Do we have an appetite to fulfill our vision, our prayers, our belief system, that anybody that doesn't fit inside of our grand design, we want to remove them from the table? But as you said, I ain't asked to come eat here anyway, bruh.
Yeah.
I ain't asked to come and be a part of your... I've been showing you signs I wanted to go work somewhere else. I've been showing you that we don't share the same faith. I've been showing you I clocked out from this relationship. Yeah. So we spin the table around, and is it us with a certain kind of mindset that has to get up from the table because we're being greedy, holding somebody hostage to our perspective of who they should be in our musical?
Yeah.
Oh,
I definitely agree. I think the host has, I agree with you, Kendall. I think the host has the most control. Whoever's hosting, whether it be business, whether it be family, whether it be relationship, whether it be the dinner, Christmas, I think whoever's hosting has control. And I think sometimes, like you said, the host gets selfish because the hosts have an ideal picture of what they want the outcome to look like. And they forget about the reality and focus on the painting, the picture, the pretty picture.
Sometimes, though, and I like this. This is really, 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 really good. Sometimes the host isn't even wanting the people to be a certain way, but just wanting to keep grandma alive.
But
yeah, I get what you're saying.
does everybody invited?
Is everybody invited?
You know what I'm saying? But does everybody who's being invited want to keep grandma alive?
Not everybody. I think it's one or two that when grandma or grandpa passed away, they had no family, especially if the grandparents raised them. And so on these holidays, you don't want to see them alone. And so they may even come and say, we should do this and we should do that. And the host is mainly the person that everybody kind of comes to. And you just feel like, okay, let's just see if we can keep a piece of grandma or grandpa alive. I don't care how you act. I don't care what you do. Just sit at the table and let's all pretend that.
So I ask you again.
Yeah, I get it.
So I ask you
Yeah,
again.
I get it.
Because what it could be is two people can have a conversation. They can what's the word I'm looking at? They can partner on an idea, but nobody else has been invited into that boardroom of conversation. So when you create this environment based off an idea that two people agreed on and other people come into it and they don't reciprocate that same energy, who's at fault?
Yeah, I agree.
Because I'm not accountable for what I don't know, and I want you to cook. I'm not accountable for what I don't know, and then that's 0.5. The 1.0 is I have to know and I have to agree. I'm not accountable for anything I don't know, right? I make a mistake. I didn't know. We talked about that the other week. I'm not accountable for what I don't know, and I'm also not accountable to that which I have not agreed to. Just because you told me something don't make me accountable. I'm aware. Once I say, okay, you know what? I'm going to make a conscious effort to change that behavior or to clear that up or pay that off. Now I'm accountable. Acknowledgement just means I'm aware. That doesn't make me accountable. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I'm telling you now, I get so annoyed sometimes, and I think I'm a passionate person, especially when it comes to. I'm a passionate person when it comes to gathering. Period. I love for people to gather. I love the congregation. I love the fellowshipping. That's what I love that. But it annoys me. Why did you come to choir rehearsal if you really didn't want to sing? Why did you come to choir rehearsal if you don't like the director? You just here to make other people miserable. And then where I really get frustrated, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Sometimes it's almost like you look at the head like, why are you allowing them to do this? Pastor, why is this person why is there an usher if they don't like people? Like, it's like, when do we get to a point where we look at the bigger picture and say, this person is ruining, they're ruining the whole idea. They're messing it up. And you allow, and kind of like the example that you gave about grandma, I feel like churches do the same thing, where the pastor to say one person, and you lose many, and you allow that one person to stay in position for years and years and years, knowing that they don't like people, they're mean by fault. They can come here because they don't have no life outside of here. So now they come here, they are faithful, but they're not people.
And they're running away other people who should be at the table.
Yes.
But you know what's up, though? The pastor, the choir director, also has their own idea. The choir director has his own idea. That person may have a talent, a gift, an energy that works for their idea, even though it don't work for your idea. The person next to you, the person behind you. What it is all of these ideas come into one place because we're all different people with different approaches to the truth, with different philosophies, expectations, needs, willingness, fears. You dig what I'm saying? But
So-
but certain circumstances, be it a marriage, a job, family, kids, sometimes force you to be in the same environment. Because that we can't control. Me and my wife have different philosophies. Marriage is about us figuring out how to blend those philosophies to keep this vehicle moving in the direction that we both agree that that's the finish line. Sometimes she say, look, I got better direction. Sometimes I say, I'm a safer driver. We can go through that all day. But what happens when you got...
But you're not.
I am the safest driver. What you mean? What? The best driver in the family?
Yeah.
You got a better sense of direction than me. I will get lost in a minute.
I'm the best driver, though.
Man, I be whipping the wood grain.
Ken, you be driving like a old man.
Because I'm pimping since been pimping. Where I'm in
Okay,
a
go
rush.
back. I just want you to know you're not.
Where I'm in a rush, bro. We left on time.
Nah, keep going. I'm the best driver, but go ahead.
But I think when we go back to this title, get up from the table, you being greedy. I think that was opening up a whole new paradigm of this is what happens when we have unspoken, therefore unrealistic expectations.
And how many? I got to ask you this, Kendall, because I really got me over here excited. How many do we lose to save one? How many people do we lose to save one? When we talk about the agenda, because you're so right. You're hitting the nail down here. It's always about the agenda. How many? Because as a leader, I've been here, and when I was trying to save one person, but it was tearing down.
I'm not going to challenge that. I'm going to give you something to think about.
Okay.
How far between when Christ knew Judas was going to betray him to the time he was betrayed do you think passed? And I don't know the exact number.
I say it a lot.
Right. There was a lot of time between when Christ said, one of y'all going to betray me, to the time he was actually betrayed. Right? Anywhere in there, he could have said, it's you, bruh. It's you. Why didn't he? To continue to test Judas, but also test the other 11. That one is not there to run the other 99 off. Because if that one can run them off, then you're not focused on the thing you're supposed to be focused on in the first place. At the end of the day, because we all supposed to be walking in love, kindness, forgiveness, 7 times 70. So maybe that is the idea of the pastor. Maybe he is trying to walk out those scriptures to the truth, saying, I know. There might be a Judas in the midst. There may be a Jezebel in the midst. There may be a, don't get it twisted. Peter was thugged out too.
Jerika should understand that because we just had this conversation yesterday. And I'd be quick to be like, sit down. Get away from the table. You'd be like, no, we should stay. We should love everybody.
Well, because listen, the thing is, like, I get it. Like, I'm built away, and I'm built to be passionate. I'm passionate about people. I really, really am. Like, I will ride with you to the end and believe in you.
But there are times when you're in choir rehearsal and you notice certain things that irk you, and you be like, why? Just quit. Your attitude is, you don't even, and that's the same way I feel about certain things that you feel like, but it was good.
Well, hear me out, and I get what you're saying. My thing is, hear me clear. I can love. T.D. Jakes said that.
No, I want you to give me, because you always refer to, and I want you to tell me what God said to you, not what God said to Jakes.
God can love us, but not like what we do. I can like your gift, but not like what you do personally. Your gift can bless me.
Let's put the gift aside.
That's what I'm saying, because
I don't even know what y'all talking about, but let's put the gift aside. Get
up from the table, stop being greedy. That's the problem now. People are riding off of gifts, but what is your walk like?
Lucifer got a nice gift.
Lucifer had a gift.
And God used it. And when he did
wrong, what happened? He got what?
Now look at the music industry.
What happened? But what happened?
But my point is that God is still going to get his glory anyhow.
I'm on the outside looking in. I don't know all the intricate details of y'all's conversation. I will say this though.
My mic is gone. Maybe I don't even need it.
Where your mic at, girl?
This is the conversation we have. All right. But my thing is, stop being greedy. Get up from the table. Sometimes we are greedy with God. We are greedy with God sometimes because we feel like we take out certain things of the scriptures that fit our life and we run with it. And we make it seem like, oh no, grace is with me. Oh no, he'll forgive me. While the whole time you know you about to do something you ain't got no business, that says there's 10 commandments.
Yeah, but the scriptures also come back and say, I'm gonna make sure it also says, it is almost impossible for those who have tasted the goodness
to go back
of God's salvation in Christ's resurrection, to turn from sin and find repentance. They say because they crucified Christ yet again. What he's basically saying is, if you truly, truly, truly have experienced God on that level, and you have truly, experienced the remission of your sins and walk, there's no way you're going to go back. Don't mean you're going to not make mistakes and be perfect, but it's almost impossible for that person to go back to that lifestyle that they were living, or worse.
It's impossible.
Or there's another parable, and I'm done. It talks about the man with the spirits, and it says, dude had spirits. I'm paraphrasing. Dude had spirits, and he was delivered from the spirits. He said, his house was swept clean. He said, but then that spirit that had been casted out of him brought back 7 more demons that were stronger. And his latter condition was way worse than the former, right? It's saying that, okay, yeah, you can get to a point where you're being, free from your addiction to a substance or a sex addiction or anger or violence or whatever the case may be, and get delivered from that. But if you backtrack, not only is that same spirit or that hindrance or that disability of your character not going to come back, but it's going to bring 7 stronger joints. And now you're not just addicted to crack. Now you're gambling. Now you out there dealing with prostitution. Now you stealing from your mama. Your last condition is going to be worse than your former. And I think that goes to say that whether you have a gift, whether you go to church, whether you're a good person, whether you have your Samaritan moments, you have to get to a point of getting off that milk and getting on meat and getting into a position where you have spiritual discipline that keeps you operating just as a believer.
Because I can speak about myself, because I'm not perfect, but I'm gonna tell you there's certain things that I just can't do because I fear God. So I can't go on. Sean, I can't cuss you out if I wanted to. I can't go on live and do you no harm. I can't walk up to you in the midst of a whole bunch of people and just say what I feel, because the God in me won't let me. You understand what I'm saying? I was at the grocery store today. I overheard the young lady that was bagging the groceries say she was so hungry. She was like, I'm hungry. I haven't taken a break. I feel like I'm about to pass out. She was steady bagging groceries. So it took me a couple of seconds, because I was like, I want to do this and then not be. I said, you might want to get you something to eat. You don't want to get a headache and pass out in here. She was like, I know. I said, won't you buy you some chips or something? That'll hold you. Same grocery store I go to all the time. She said, I ain't got no money to buy nothing. I said, I'll buy you some chips. I said, matter of fact, if you want to go over to the deli, I'll buy you some food. So she said, no, just will you give me some chips? I bought her some chips. It was something in me that was just pulling, right? Like it's certain things that because I love God so much that I just can't do. So I don't use grace as a pass to say, you know what, I'm about to go out here and cuss you from amazing grace to a floating opportunity because I was pissed and I'm human, I'm mad, oh well, deal with it. And then get up in the morning and be on my thing talking about, let's be peaceful and let's be kind because God told us to. Because God should have told me that the day that I cussed you out live, correct? Okay, that's all I'm saying.
No, I get what you're saying. And I don't want you to think I don't get what you're saying, but no, I do. But what I'm saying is that I'm so passionate about people because this is the thing. I've been on the other side too. And there were people who loved me when they didn't understand what I was doing. There were people who crucified. Hold on, let me finish. There were people who crucified me, and there are people who still crucify me. And I know I love God. And I hear stuff about me all the time. And I know, and people challenge my love for God because of things that they don't understand about me.
So do you think that that's probably your...
No, I'm not saying you challenge him.
People who have gifts, they use their gifts to do in and everything. And my thing is, I would never challenge you because you're not out here wilding out and doing. I know you're walking, I see your walk. And the people who are talking don't be around you every day to know your walk and see your walk. And plus, you're not out here wilding. Are you? Because do you have another private thing paid?
Well,
You know what I'm saying? And I get passionate about that because I love God. I love God. So we were just talking. I was like, yo, I'm a gifted person, so I see past the gifts. You can't just have a gift and think you can do whatever you want to do with it.
I'm not saying you can have a gift.
My thing is, stop being greedy. You got a gift. Stop being greedy. If you're not going to appreciate the gift, get up from
Hitler had a gift.
Who?
Hitler had a gift. He was one of the most powerful, influential, impactful, and strategic leaders in history ever. But what did he use his gift for? So his gift can't overshadow the impact of his character. You understand what I'm saying?
So special that sometimes I feel like we smack God in the face when we don't appreciate it and carry it, and especially when you got such a great one. That's my thing is you can't, and Jake's said, he was talking about grace one Sunday, and he just kept saying, we can't just keep saying grace, 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 because grace runs out. Your gift and all. In High Point, I knew some gifted sing. I'm talking about some men that could sing. Woo! Like make you have chills. But they were singing on the side of the street and they were lit. And they did it so much to the gift, God snatched it right up away from them. Because all they were doing was singing on the side of the street, drinking on it, tarnishing it, drinking on it, smoking on it, putting stuff on it. Hard liquor, just all day long, couldn't do without it. And God said, back up from the table, you being greedy. I can give it to somebody else who will use it. That's all I'm saying is, don't be greedy with it. Know that there's some young person that would love to be in your position that cherishes it. Don't, because, and that's another thing, to be gifted is to be a role model also. People follow people who are gifted. And they have fan pages and they want to be like them and they want to be. So if we say that we're king's kids, then let's be gifted and let's show them like who the gift giver really is. Let's make it, let's not make it look good because it is good. Let's show it all the time how good it is. And not trying to, hey, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying stop being greedy and get up from the table if you're not going to cherish it. And I'm a gifted person, come from a gifted family. So I see past gifts. Because you can sing your way through some things. And people will be like, oh. But when you leave from there, are you living what you're singing? And are you giving the gift back to the gift giver?
Now I understand that, but what I'm challenging, I guess, to get you to try to see differently is that I think that we all won't get to the same place at the same time, but we all can get there. And I think that along the way, if people would have lost, I just know in my life, there were people who believed in me even when I wasn't believing in myself, even when I was going through. And I think that one of the problems that we're kind of having in the church now is that people don't believe in people like they used to. Like they give up.
But it look like your pastor believe in that one choir member. That you feel, I'm just saying as an example, that one person may be, you know what? Let me do it like this. Let me pick on Kendall. I just feel more comfortable when I beat up on myself. When I was 2 feet away from my breakthrough of understanding is when I was at my most savage. It took for me to get to the bloodline into myself to where I almost didn't recognize myself to where I was able to be set free. It didn't happen before certain violent things took place. It didn't happen before certain charges took place. It didn't happen before certain losses and death and things I don't even want to talk about tonight took place. But it was when I got to that point when even my mama washed her hands off me. I was in jail. My mom wrote me a letter. She said, I can't do this no more. I'm going to have to disown you as my son. My heart can't take it. That level. So imagine what I had to be doing to have my mom, my mom, saying, I'm going to have to wash my hands of you. But it was at that point, it was at that place, it was at that level, at that depth, that I was snatched up into God's light. So a lot of times for me, while I don't talk about people, man, I'll laugh at something if it's funny, and I kiki ha. I ain't the gossiping type, because I know I've done so much dirt in my life. I've made so many mistakes. I've caused so much destruction. I have destroyed so many things. I don't have room to judge nobody, criticize nobody. All I can do is show compassion and have a heart for them and patience, which is why I'm in the line of work that I am, dealing with my brothers behind the wall. You know, because I get it. I understand where their mindset is, and I understand that at their lowest is when God is ready to take them to their highest. So I'm just saying, in your personal life, because you shared your story with me at times when people discredited you, disowned you, banished you from their kingdom of their circles of influence. There were certain people also didn't give up on you. And so sometimes that one person who's irritating us, who seems like they're only causing disturbance, that could be their cry out. That could be their act out. That could be a call for help, because everybody's call for help ain't the same. You don't always come out and say, yo, help me, I'm distraught. My bills ain't due. It may come out in the attitude. It may come out being short-tempered or pessimistic. But it's a cry out at the end of the day, because we all want joy. We all want success. We all want to have our ends being met. We all want to have love from our family. We all want to be seen and not walk around invisible. We all want that in common. So certain things, we get to a certain point because of what we've been through, because of what we've experienced, because of the sin I know that I have walked in, that I start to look at that thing with a different eye. And I don't judge a book by a cover. And I'm like, yo, but what's in the contents of the chapter of this person's life? And that's why I deal with character. I don't deal with gifts. I don't deal with your income statement. I don't care about what car you drive. If I get to know your character, from there we can build. Because that's what Christ came to teach and demonstrate, was character. So for me, I know there's some tables that I had to get up off of so that I can be of greater use to the Most High. And I can be of greater use to the people that I can serve. Because this conversation really helped me flip this thing around. Number one, I don't want to impose my truth or my belief system on any man or woman. I don't want to put people in situations where they put themselves in an uncompromising position just because they don't have the courage to tell me no, or whatever the case may be. So I just have to kind of look at it 360, and this really helped me get another layer of not being so quick to say, hey, you need to get up from the table. Should I have set the table? Should I have prepared a place? Did I do it for me because I wanted to display that I can cook? Or am I really doing it to make sure people get fed? I have to ask myself these questions.
I trust y'all. This is a great conversation. It's getting really, really good. But let's just say if God prepared the table. We're talking about us now, preparing the table, what we do. But let's just say if God prepared the table. Do we all in this room believe in time? Time running out, time. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of people that we have followed and loved who ran out of time, right? I sometimes go back to the story, and this might not be a good, I don't know, y'all tell me, but like how when God told Noah to build an ark, and he told him to tell the people, like, there's a storm coming, right? And nobody believed him. Everybody still wanted to do their own thing, how they wanted to do it. But he was obedient and listening to God. He listened to God the whole step of the way. He didn't put no tinted windows on it, no rims, no system in there. God told him to build it how he was obedient, and he built it. And when the time came, that storm came, and they ran out of time. So all I'm saying is, if God is the person who's prepared the dinner, and we're still sitting at the table being greedy and not appreciating, sometimes we need to get up from the table and not even say it's over for you, but look in the mirror and reevaluate and say, you know what? I'm sorry, Lord. You gave me a gift. You gave me an opportunity. I wanted to play ball. You took me all the way here. I wanted to, DJ and travel the world, and you took me here. I wanted to go and speak in certain places. I wanted to do hair all over the world, and you took me. And you know what? I need to sit back because now I'm being greedy, and I'm not appreciating the meal that you've prepared for me. I'm realizing that I have a gift, and now I'm just letting my gift do the work. I'm gifted. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. But now I'm not even depending on you, so my gift don't even look the same. It don't got no anointing on it now. I'm not DJing the same. I'm not playing music that when I look out there, I see people just in a total zone. That wasn't me. That was you. That's all I'm saying is, I'm not saying I want to do away with you. I'm saying if there's anybody watching that know you got a gift and know you got somewhere to go, and you keep just trying to do it your way, and you're not surrendering everything and sitting at the table and saying, is there any more, Lord? I know we had dessert, but is there anything else you want for me to eat? Is there anything? Do you want me to clean the dishes? Do you want me to is there anything else? I'm saying appreciate that time that you have with your family because you lost grandma, you lost grandpa, you never know. Appreciate that time when the door opens for you business-wise. Appreciate that time when he gives you a gift because it can be snatched away. We do not serve a God that's just sitting back playing spades and saying, hey, let them do what they want. I forgive them. Here's a pass. I forgive you. We don't. We serve the same God that was back in the old days. And yes, we're not even going to go there yes, Jesus came but we still serve. We can't just wake up every day and say, grace and mercy brought me this far. I'm about to go out here and I'm about to do what I want to do. I got a gift. And I'll see you when I see you, Flair. Talk to you tomorrow.
I like how they be trying to play the Christ demonstration like it's a hall pass. But every time he hears somebody, he said, go and sin no more. No more.
And we all...
He ain't say sin less.
And we all, listen, every day I have to get up and every day I go to... Before I start my prayer off, I'll be like, man, forgive me. Not if I said. I know I might have said or done something wrong that was unpleasing in your sight. Forgive me. But what I'm telling you is, D, I want to do it right. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to love God the way that he deserves it. We serve a jealous God. I want to do it right. And I want every young lady and every woman that's following me and watching me to see what it looks like to do right so that we all can make it in. That's all I'm saying.
And so when you're saying that, my thing is this. When you feel that way, how far do your compassion and love go for another person that might not get it at the time that you think that they should get it or when they should get it?
There's not a time that I'm thinking anybody should get anything. I'm just praying that they don't run out of time.
Right.
That's my compassion for people. I love people that much that I'm not judging and saying you need to do it. But what I am saying is we can no longer use excuses because you already know my story. You was with me when I used to wow all the way out. And you probably would have left me if I woke up every day and used the same excuse from my past to do the same kind of stuff that I was doing.
No, I wouldn't have left you because it was part of my assignment. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I believe past would no matter what you would have done every day, yeah. I was there for an assignment. I was there to
You're right,
believe in you,
but you do have a short. Your choir member can irritate you. So guess what? You might have wouldn't have left me. But you would have been irritated. Why? Because you love me so much.
Being irritated and giving up on a person is two different things.
And sorry for me saying giving up, not giving up, but it comes a point in life that's just like a mother with their kids. And I talked to Kendall's mother about this, and I talked to my mother about this because she had to do it with me once. My mother had to walk away from me for a while. Especially when I got pregnant, she didn't talk to me for a long time. Because she was disappointed. You want to know why? Because God had already spoken to her and showed her what my future was. But she was so disappointed by seeing me steady take steps backwards and not going forward. So my mother got quiet on me for a minute. Kim mom told me she did the same. Kim mama called the police on him and turned him in. Now that's you see what I'm saying? Like she called the cops and was like, he's here. Come and get him. He did this, that, and the third. But by her doing so, it was the time when he was locked up that God started speaking and using him. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to love you to the point where I'm going to be honest with you and say, I can't see you kill yourself anymore, so I got to walk away for a little bit. That doesn't mean I'm giving up on you. That means I have a testimony too, and I got there. I pushed. So if I'm in your life, I'm in your life for a reason, and I need you to eat some of this food. Don't let it just sit on the table and get cold. I need you to eat some of this wisdom because I've been here and I've done that. But even a mother will walk away from her own child that she carried for 9 months, and that's hard. I have a 20-year-old that I cry about a lot. Do I not? Lose sleep. I love her enough to say, I will not see you kill yourself. I will not see you do crazy stuff. I will walk away and I believe that sometimes we have to get to that place. That's still love. Don't get it wrong. I love my daughter. And we'll light up the city for her. You heard? But there comes a point in time. Wait a minute, because I don't want you to think I'm sitting here saying, give up on them all. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying that. I think our conversation wasn't close proximity where these are people that were close. This is love from afar. This is not I get what we're saying, but this is love from afar. This is like, you're not technically adding or taking nothing away from me. This is not. I'm not in your life for say. Well, I'm saying our conversation. Who we were talking about is like I'm not.
Well, no, what we were talking about was basically like gifts, and it was like, yeah, but they still gifted. And I guess what I was telling you was growing up in a gifted family, I see past gifts, cause
Hold on, time out, because I'm on the outside looking in, so maybe I can, how a counselor do when they got no dog in the fight. If this is something from afar and it's about a gift, then you only know the person by their gift. You don't necessarily know that person's character or their true walk and posture
unless they show
faith.
it constantly.
Right. So I'm not giving nobody a pass for your gift, because I've used mine to manipulate situations all my life.
That's all I'm saying is,
like I got through there.
I think I'm attracted to. I love gifts, but I also love anointed ones, and I just hate to see people mess up that thing. That's all. And I don't give up. I'm just saying.
Because I would say this too. Those who have great anointings have great opposition. And I'm a firm believer, like when I go speak to the men, I say great men are birthed out of great trauma and tribulation. What that scripture I like say, as gold is tried in the fire, so is an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Meaning, to get to the position that I've gotten to in my life, and I don't talk about myself, I had to go through the guillotine. I had to go through fire and trial. So when a person has an anointing, the level of opposition, the level of, demonic opposition, the level of family scrutiny and backbiting, the level of depression, the level of loneliness, the level of isolation, the level of insecurity and lack of self-confidence that a person may carry, that is, that remains to be told.
And I'm going to let you cook because I know you got something to say. I want to say this because I started off the whole talk with, get up from the table, people who come and eat and they don't really want to be there. And then you turned it around and was like, but what if you're the person that's expecting something and blah, 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 blah. What if we're the people who is allowing those people to, how am I trying to say this? Are we feeding the beast? That's a good question because it's no different from